What's good, y'all? It's Drew here, back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Shaman King episode 7. So don't forget to like, subscribe for more anime content, and hit the bell notification because YouTube be trying to play with me sometimes and don't be giving you notifications. So obviously do that, but we're going to get right into it. This week we're going to have another live stream, Saturday 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so don't miss it. It's going to be a good time. So come through with any questions. School will not be over for me by then, but the week after that it should be over. So when school's over, I'll probably have like a summer stream or something like that. We can talk about things. Then we can discuss like what the plan is for the next couple anime I'll watch and the content and stuff. We talked about it a little bit last stream. We'll probably talk about it a little bit this stream. But come through. It's gonna be a good time. First thing first is question of the day. So question of the day is, who's the best character to you so far? Now, when I'm saying the best character, like, I'm really talking about like backstory, like who's the most diverse character? Because I think we're at a point where episode 7, we've seen, I think maybe around 10 characters that are like interesting. There's Anna, Yoh, Tao Ren, Tao Jun, there's Faust, Hodo. There's a lot of characters that have really good backstories. And I feel like we're now at the point where I can ask some really good questions because we've seen a lot of people now. For me, obviously, Tao Ren is super interesting to me, especially if you watch this episode. Tao Ren's, I'm not gonna say an enigma, but there's still a lot of stuff we don't know about him. But we're gonna get right into it. So as we know from the last episode, someone was talking to Silva and they told him, tell Yoh to, tell him to forfeit the second match. So this episode starts out with Anna talking to Silva, and Silva's telling Anna, and Anna's like, then all Yoh gotta do is win, right? And Silva's like, yeah, that's true, except he's a necromancer. And right there, Anna loses her cool. That's something that we don't really see Anna usually do, which immediately should tell us and the audience that, okay, whatever this necromancer is, it's kind of crazy because Anna doesn't really get shook like that. So we immediately find out that the tournaments and the locations and times are all picked by the Great Spirit. And it just so happened that the Great Spirit picked a graveyard for a necromancer, which is, I feel like that's kind of OP, but I guess what can you do, right? Like, where's Yoh's arena advantage? Where can he be at where he gets this advantage? But it is what it is, right? I want to talk about necromancer real quick. I want to talk about Shaman King to new people. When I tell them it's about ghosts, they usually think, oh, it's gonna be something really spooky or scary stuff. And it's funny because for the most part, Shaman King's not scarier or darker than your average anime. Like an anime like Fullmetal Alchemist is darker than Shaman King, even though Shaman King is an anime about ghosts. If you want that thing that people think about when they think about ghosts and stuff, like a ghost anime, yeah, Faust, that's him. Faust has, first of all, he's a necromancer, which is basically what you think a person who uses ghosts would be, right? Which is a person who uses the corpse. So that's already kind of nasty, right? Right before the battle begins, Faust sees Manta, and it's like, okay, well, you are interesting shape, I guess, because he's really short, but he basically says, he's a good specimen. So Faust basically catches Manta off rip, because Manta's kind of a scary cat, so he runs off as soon as he sees the skulls or the skeletons. As Manta's running, Faust uses his oversoul, which is actually kind of cool, him being a necromancer, he can basically use Furyoku into the different mediums of the skeletons, so he can kind of bring them back from the dead, so to speak. Where, they're just really skeletons, but he can still control them. And obviously that's gonna get Yoh heated. Yoh's like, he's turning up. Yoh's probably the most mad we've seen him so far. He's really mad. He's like, he's clawing at them and stuff. And he does, free Manta. Manta got cut up really easily. Like, Manta's skin looked like it's like, I don't know, like warm butter on, or a warm knife on butter or something. Like, it really, his skin got cut through easily. But I guess, that is medical tool. That's kind of how that stuff works. But anyway, so Manta's hurt and Yoh's kind of heated. And as we know from, I guess, the last couple battles, or, we just know as a general rule, like, if you're not fighting smart, if you're fighting angry, you're probably using more Furyoku than you need to. And that's what Yoh's doing. So Yoh's using a lot of Furyoku that he doesn't need to use. And I think Silva's there and Anna are there, or they come at a certain point. Silva basically accounts that, those skeletons that Faust is making, they don't take a lot of Furyoku at all. Like, as you can see, they're not strong. Like Yoh hit Faust, and Yoh basically he was breaking them with each slash. So they're not strong oversouls. But the thing is that they take so little energy, and Yoh's using an intense amount of energy. So if you look at the Furyoku meter, if they had a Furyoku meter, Yoh is going way faster than Faust is. And I think Silva even says something, like Silva says that Faust is not some crazy strong guy. Like, Faust is not even stronger than the people that Yoh's fought already. Faust is not stronger than Hodo. Faust is not stronger than Silva. Faust is not some crazy impressive fighter. Like, honestly, he's not. But the thing is, Yo's not fighting as cool-headed as he normally is. He's going kind of crazy. He's using too much Furyoku for no reason. A couple minutes earlier, we found out that Faust is actually the descendant of Faust the alchemist, and I'm not great at history, so I really only know Faust the alchemist from Shaman King. So obviously, my history classes are not looking tough. But anyway, we actually found out something interesting about the first Faust. I think it was Faust the Fourth, but the Faust before him. The Faust that's currently fighting Yoh says that his descendant, the other Faust, was in the Shaman tournament 500 years ago. So that's a little bit of world building that we have never gotten pretty much before. But that Faust 500 years ago, he was in the Shaman tournament. Despite him being overconfident, he did make some rules, or he did kind of crack a little bit of the secret of death in that sense. And so that's what the original Faust used to do what he's doing right now. He learned necromancy from the older Faust. I don't know if I'm making sense. But the point is, the current Faust learned necromancy from the past Faust. Okay, now that we're on that. So we get his backstory, and we find out that, he was ridiculed as a kid because, the Faust family is not a super beloved family in general, right? And he met the girl, Elisa. That was his wife, who was obviously dead. But he met Elisa, and he basically, they fell in love with each other and everything. And she had an illness, but, she was able to overcome it. Unfortunately, she was killed by robbers, so robbers came and killed her. His reason for becoming Shaman King is to bring back his wife, his long-lost wife that died. And every time we see a shaman, we kind of see their motive and stuff. And I'm not gonna say they're more like noble than Yoh's necessarily, but it really makes you realize that Yoh is the main character. Yoh is the good guy, right? But everyone that's in the Shaman tournament has the reason for fighting, and for the most part, they're all pretty much good-natured reasons. So obviously, Yoh's not gonna be as nice as he was with Horo to Faust, because Faust was on some wild stuff with Manta. But still, it makes you realize that Faust's doing some dirty things for sure. But the way he sees it, whatever it takes to bring back my wife Elisa, that's what I'm gonna do. Silva's kind of confused, why Yoh is turning up. He's like, bro, Yoh, why were you so angry and stuff? And Anna tells him Yoh had no friends, and basically the Asakura family is super strong, but obviously that brings jealousy and stuff like that. And because of that, he was ostracized, and that made him. He was ostracized, especially by people his age, so that made him such a loner. And Manta's his first and only human friend. And added on that his first and only human friend can see Shaman, it makes sense why Yoh has always been kind of protective of Manta. Yoh's always helped Manta, even when Manta's doing something dumb, or not dumb, but when Manta's caught in some bad situations, which he has been, Yoh always turns up. Yoh always comes to save them. Episode 1, we remember Yoh called him his friend, so we know that we see why Yoh is kind of going crazy over Manta at this moment. That's his only friend type thing. Yoh's like, okay. Yoh realizes what Faust did, which is basically you rile up your opponent, even if they have more Furyoku than you, which Yoh had at the beginning of the battle and Faust has now. Then, even if they have more Furyoku, they can drain it at a faster rate, so you might still win the fight. And Yoh's, he's turning up, and he's blocking Elisa, and he calls her a doll. And Faust goes kind of crazy, and Elisa's just, clawing, and she's just going at it. And she does something really cool, honestly, where she has her little, I don't even know what the weapon is called, but it's not a scythe, because the scythe has a little blade part. But it's you might know in the comments, so let me know. But she attacks with the blade, and Yoh blocks it, but the Furyoku from the blade extends, and it slashes through Yoh. So that's a cool little aspect that I thought was, I wanted to note. But Yoh basically says, she's just dolls. He says it again, because Faust is like, bro, say that again, little punk. Say it again, and Yoh obviously says it again. And Yoh's able to destroy, I'm not going to say the whole oversoul, but I think he's able to destroy the bottom half, and it makes it seem like he won. And the way they were talking, it seemed like, it did seem like he won for a quick second, but we found out that Yoh probably could have won. He definitely could have won the fight if he had his normal Furyoku, but if he had just a little bit more, he could have held on, and I think he could have won. But he ran out of Furyoku, which means the match is over, and Yoh lost. So Yoh got his first loss pretty much of the series. That's tough, because as we know, Yoh loses one more match, and bro has to go home. That's Shaman tournament. You can only take two. You gotta take 2 dubs. So that means whatever Yoh's next matchup is, he gonna have to win it. And the way it makes it seem, it seems all kind of almost, even though he lost, it seems like it's kind of good nature, because you have amidamaru talking to Yoh and stuff, and amidamaru telling him it's fine. Yoh was mad when he lost. He was like, I didn't expect to be this angry after a loss. I thought I wouldn't care. And amidamaru's giving him this great speech and stuff. It's really upbeat. It's really wholesome. And it's like, let's go, let's take Manta to a hospital. and we kind of forget the guy Faust over there, and Faust is really mad, and he does something that I honestly was surprised he didn't do earlier in the fight. I guess it was probably through anger, but he like combines all the skeletons and skulls and stuff of, you know, his oversouls, or all the, you know, the dead bodies and stuff, and he makes a giant oversoul type thing, and he's trying to attack Yoh, and Silva's about to interfere, and Anna, but I don't think they're gonna get there in time. That's the whole point. Like, Silva is too far away from the match to save Yoh, and Yoh's at a Furyoku, and I think Anna's too far away as well. But guess who saves Yoh? You will never guess if you hadn't seen this part. Like, obviously these episode reviews, you probably have seen the episode, but I feel like for newcomers, I feel like this is kind of surprising. But let me know if you were surprised by it, obviously. But Tao Ren saves Yoh, and Tao Ren basically says, you know, I saved you for one reason, because you were my opponent, and I can't let anyone kill you. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting episode, next episode for sure. So we know that Yoh's next opponent is Tao Ren, and as we know in the Shaman tournament, Yoh has to win next fight. It's basically do or die. So if you wanted high stakes, here you go. But Yoh's first loss, obviously, this is getting pretty interesting. Faust, I think, was a pretty interesting character. I like his backstory in the sense that so far everyone's backstory has been, I'm not gonna say like super joyful, but it's been kind of chill. You know what I'm saying? Like Horo, yeah, like the nature spirits are kind of being targeted, but they're still there. Yoh, nothing bad. There's no tragedies and stuff. And I'm not saying tragedies need to happen in anime, but it's just a realistic aspect of it. Like, there were probably mad people that had a wife or had a spouse or a significant other that they lost, and if there was a Shaman tournament that there was a way to get a like unlimited power, you bet people like that would be in this tournament fighting through whatever means they can to get the dub. And that's what Faust is doing. So I'm not gonna say you have to respect it, but you have to respect at least the hustle. So let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you guys like the episode. You know, let me know your overall thoughts like usual. But I'm out, so peace.